Hi everyone, Emma here with Pillbox Designs, bringing you another video. Today, what I want to do is I want to show you how to apply a decal to the hood of a car. Now this method will work with any car, glass, anything non-porous. We're going to do what we call wet application. And so the main difference between this one and what we call a dry application obviously is you need to use a dry application if you're going to do it on a wall or any place where you can't get the surface wet. Obviously on a car, we don't have an issue with getting it wet. So let's get started. Alright, so before we get started, let me explain what a wet application exactly is. So what we're going to be using is we're going to be using a product that we call Rapid Tack. You can get this off Amazon. I'm going to be working to see if I can get these small bottles to sell in our shop. But this is what we call an application fluid. This is used by window tinters, car wrappers, to apply decals. Essentially what happens is the decal adhesive kind of glides on the fluid. And so that allows you to move the decal around, get it right, get it nice and straight, and then you're going to squeegee the liquid out of the decal, which is then going to get it to stick. Again, like I said, very similar method to how you do window tint or how you would do an actual car wrap. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to saturate the decal and the hood, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. This should only take a few minutes to finish. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I am going to remove the backing paper. This is always the toughest part, especially if it's on a windy day. What you want to do is, see that come out. Sometimes it's best to, let's do it this way. I've already got it kind of taped to the car, so it's best to pull the vinyl back down this way to see how I'm kind of taking it off the decal. Do that and keep taking that whole backing paper off. We gotta get that there. Just fell onto the decal, and we're going to get that off of there. Sorry, give me 1 second. So as you're doing this, the thing to be careful of is I got a small piece of hair. Get that off of there. All right, so now let's get this done. So what we're going to do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to saturate the decal itself. Don't worry about getting this on the paint. Like this is kind of a soapy solution, and we're also going to saturate the hood area. Now, just be careful when you're doing this depending on the temperature of the day, because this will definitely evaporate fairly quickly. Get it nice and wet. All right, so I think that is good. Okay, so now, before it starts to get really windy, what we're going to do is we are going to come down and we are going to go ahead and make sure the decal doesn't form on itself, because it will stick. But we're going to go ahead and lay the decal down. All right, and so what the nice part about the adhesive, as you can see, it just comes right back on. I can pick it up, I can relay it down, make sure it's nice and straight. Like I said, because I haven't taken this tape off, I already know that I have it straight, and so I'm gonna pick it up right here, and we're gonna start squeezing. And so the best part to do, especially if you have like style lines that you want to go over, is we're just gonna squeegee up the style lines and get this nice and on there. Like I said, if you need more application fluid, don't be afraid to spray it down more. Like I I said, it's fairly easy. As you can see, the water, I'm squeezing the liquid out of the actual decal itself and getting it nice and stuck on there. Now, this went on there fairly well. I'm really happy with how it turned out. You will get air bubbles in the tape, but you just want to make sure there's no air bubbles in the actual decal itself. And so, now I didn't saturate the tape. I just sprayed it down a little bit. I use a very minimal amount of this fluid. You can use a lot of fluid, but the more you saturate the tape, you're gonna have to let the tape dry a little bit in order to remove it. Just because once you saturate, if you saturate it, the decal adhesive will come off too, and you want to let it dry a little bit so that decal adhesive, which is a lot stronger than the tape adhesive, sticks to your hood. And so I feel like right now I didn't use very much fluid. I use a very little amount of fluid because this is a small decal. And so very easy to place. As long as you're placing it right like that, you'll be fine. Like I said, as it's still wet, you can still pick it up, and now you see the decal is now stuck. So now I am ready to go ahead and pull this out. Now you see this one stuck, didn't stick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold it, I'm gonna pull it, and I am going to go ahead and kind of manually squeegee it down there, and that way I can pick it up, and we're just gonna pull the tape on itself. And watch your edges, because, you know, like I said, this is using a wet application. It's not fully stuck to the car yet because it's not dry. So we're just gonna kind of pull it. You see how I'm pulling it. You see that right there? Pull it up. What we're gonna do is go back, lay that back down, and we can use our squeegee, which you'll get with every order, to kind of keep it down. And like, you see the way I'm pulling the tape, and pulling the tape like this keeps it from pulling up. Now you'll see I got a couple of air bubbles here. Don't worry about too many air bubbles, because the air bubbles will come out with the heat. You let it shrink in the heat a little bit, it will definitely, the air bubbles will shrink out of this. But as you can see, bingo. Now, a few air bubbles. Let's get some. While the liquid is still in there, what we want to do is we're going to squeegee as much of the air bubbles out as possible. Maybe you can hear that air bubbles coming out. Like I said, what the water does is the water allows the decal to slide. So those air bubbles, there's water in there, and so that'll allow the movement. And so now I've got it nice and smooth and down. And obviously I'm using a little felt thing. I will send you these squeegees with all your orders, and I might not be able to have the felt ones, but you can always wrap a t-shirt, get it nice and smooth, so you don't want to scratch your car or anything like that. A t-shirt or a towel on a squeegee will actually work just as well as these little felt things, where I don't get a lot of these felt ones. So they're easier. And so there you have it. So that is on there. So I would let that dry a little bit. Okay, so there you have it. Now you have a nice decal on your car, make it stand out. One of the big reasons I do these on my own personal cars, aside from personality, is I like to be able to find this car in a parking lot. Unfortunately, it's a black sedan, so what are you gonna do? This decal will last on this hood about 7 to 10 years. The white is only going to last, the white will start dry out about 7 years. 5 to 7 years, you're going to start seeing the white start to deteriorate. The black will last well over 10 years. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If you want, if you want the best way to apply it to a certain service, like I said, I'm always happy to answer questions about how to apply our decals. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook, and visit our shop at pillboxdesigns.com. All right, thank you.